Okay, we are at the top of the hour, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I know that people are still trickling in, and even some of our panelists as well, but I'm hoping that they'll be here shortly. But we have some here, so we can definitely get started. So, some logistical information, real quick, and then we'll get into the nuts and bolts of these great sessions that we have. So, let's see. As usual, these are always for you, probably even more so today, just because it really is in your court. You get to ask us questions and get some answers. But again, this is for you, so please take advantage of it. It is being recorded, so please feel free to sit back and relax and hear the Q&A. If you have a question, make sure that you put that into the Q&A rather than the chat, because like I said, we do have multiple panelists on. So if a question can be answered via type, it will be done so in the Q&A. If a question is going to be answered live, one of my panelists will actually flag that, and then I'll call on them for that. But again, today we're actually, it's going to be a Q&A session. It's all about asking the experts. So, Safe Harbor. Obviously, there could be a statement or two that are said today based on the questions that are asked and the answers that are given that could talk about some things that are in the future. So make sure that you are aware of our Safe Harbor notice as you ask the questions, and of course, listen for the answers. So my name, as usual, is Thomas Davis, and I know that Dan will be here. I'm pretty sure. I know that Marta's here, and Shushma's supposed to be here as well. And then we have Marco, Daniel, and Mike. They are already all here. So, like I said, this is all about Ask the Experts. So here is an opportunity for you to ask questions, and like I said, please ask those in the Q&A rather than the chat. You can definitely make any comments or things of that nature in the chat, say hellos and things of that nature. But if you do have a specific question that you're looking for an answer for, I ask that you put that into the Q&A. So one, I can keep up with those and actually post that onto the community page after the this session is complete. So with that, and crazy as it sounds, the Q&A is empty. So if you have a question, here's your opportunity to ask a question. And then also, if you would like to ask your question live, we can definitely unmute you and give you the ability to do that. And if no questions come in, then obviously you would get a full hour back. But I'm guessing there are some questions. Here we go. So let's see. So we'll go ahead and ask this, and then if one of the panelists want to answer this live, then I'll definitely call on them. But the question is, are there platform analytics usage data, stats, and reports available post-migration to measure what is in use or not in use? Marta, maybe that's a good one for you.
So there's gonna be we are and safe harbor, but it's pretty good at this point. We are releasing with Zurich the usage information for the dashboards, so for the platform analytics dashboards, and the plan is that with Australia we are also going to provide it about the new platform analytics data visualizations. So yes, we definitely want to surface more and more information regarding usage, the total views, also the last time that artifacts was viewed, so to help on the cleanup activities to keep consolidated and well-maintained library pages. So that's definitely where we are going to have a lot of focus in the next releases.
Hello, we've been able to create an interactive filter based on the sys user group member table. We've created PA breakdowns. Can this be done in platform analytics as well? Does anyone know specifically about that particular table? Can an interactive filter be created on that? Or a filter, a unified filter, I guess is the question.
If
Yeah,
there are already, Marco, you can go ahead, but if there are already PA breakdowns, I assume that you can also kind of select that it will apply to those indicator breakdowns, or maybe use those breakdowns are the main source.
So you're saying like if you grab that existing indicator that breakdown is attached to, then you can obviously set those selections at the indicator level when you create it as choose it as your data source. But when you actually bring it over to the dashboard, can that same breakdown be added at the unified filters? Maybe what he's talking about. Marco, did you have a thought?
yeah. So basically what Marta said. Like if the indicator is correctly set up to have a proper breakdown, then the filter can be set up to use that table, and both should be filtered.
He said he needs an interactive filter.
Yeah, if you're doing it on the platform analytics dashboards, then we have the functionality of filters and we have a filter component. They are configured to be working for both indicators and table data sources at the same time. So you don't necessarily need an interactive filter. So maybe, I don't know where that, if we are not translating exactly what is the need.
Yeah, and he's saying he's pre-platform analytics version, so he's actually talking about an interactive filter.
Okay. Yeah, we might need to align on the community. It's like if you can create a question on the community, maybe we catch up over there. If there wasn't, we haven't replied to your question right now.
Okay. The next one is, I have a requirement to provide a report that has all of our business applications, over 5,000, an account of change requests, incidents requests, etc. for a chosen time period. The only solution I have found for doing this is a custom table and a scheduled job. Is there a better way to get this? Expectation is that you would see a row with the application name, its count of change, count of incidents, etc. So I think they're just trying to find a view or a view that would give them the business applications with how many current change requests, incidents, requests, or whatnot. I mean, I think you have to be able to maybe from the task table, right? A pivot grid could possibly show that. Anybody got any thoughts on that?
Yeah,
Unless you got to create a database view to pull it all together.
I think it might be a pivot with multiple data sources. Thing is that we need to see if all those tables have a connection to application, which I think they do. So then it would be all of these like change requests, incidents requests, they would be data sources, and as metrics, it would be count distinct applications, most likely. I haven't tested this, but I think this should work.
Yeah, the 5,000 rows things. I mean, obviously that's not going to look the best, but yeah. So a pivot table, like he said, using multiple data sources, and then do a distinct based on each application should hopefully give you that. If you've tried that and that hasn't worked, then maybe just do another comment, Jane, and we'll go from there. All right, let's see. Here's another one for you, Marta, or yeah, Dan's in here, maybe Marta. Based on feedback from customers, what have you heard is the biggest challenge customers faced in the migration?
So when talking with larger customers, it's definitely on the amount of data that needs to be migrated or needs to be reviewed. Ways ways to do that is like maybe start with a department or like a team, and not necessarily to migrate all their content, migrate a subset, or even start creating anything new only in the new platform analytics experience, and just let have a team just moving into the new world instead of like the entire organization or the entire set of user base to move to platform analytics experience directly. Till now, till Zurich, a lot of our focus was on the full migration. You're going to see with Australia, starting with Zurich, but also more and more with Australia, we are actually moving towards a more phased approach in which you are going to be allowed to decide to migrate just some content while you are going to have both the core UI and the platform analytics experience living side by side if you haven't done yet the migration from Australia onwards. But
Okay,
there is a a good article in the community that Dan has written about like best way to test the migration and also like testing the results with the end users on a subprod. That's we will send the link.
Yeah, if you can post that in the chat, that'll be a good place for that. If you have the direct link.
Yeah, I have.
Okay, cool. And then with that, we will always be able, will we always be able to edit existing dashboards and reports if we haven't migrated them to the new platform analytics? If not, when will we no longer be able to edit them?
So as of now, there are no plans to block the editing of the core UI dashboards and core UI reports, or as well PA widgets and interactive filters. If in case these plans change on our side, we will for sure give a communication, a widely like to all the customers communication. But as of now, there is no expectation of like or any like short-term blockage on the editing experience.
Okay, thank you. So would you be able to say some things about formula indicators and the JavaScript methods that can be leveraged? I think the methods are JavaScript, but either way, I see methods. They're a link to browse for method, perhaps provide a simple use case. So Hugo, on this one, I know that we've had a couple Academy sessions that have talked about formula indicators and also some of the methods that are a part of those. What I'll do is I'll actually grab those links and then I will post those into the chat as well. And then I'll also make sure that when I post this recording and whatnot in the questions, I'll post those links within the community as well. That might be easier than trying to talk about a particular use case or whatnot, because I know that the demos that were part of those were pretty good, and Adam Stout did those, so he generally has really good content as it relates to the formula indicators. So I'll make sure that I get those and post those. What is the plan to replace the launch dependency assessment tool that is currently available to see the dependencies for performance analytics? Anything on that, Marta?
We are gonna look at improving the Analytics Center library pages to surface more the information that were available from the dependency assessment. It's not going to be the same view or look and feel as of now, but we definitely want to surface if a visualization is used across multiple dashboards or maybe across multiple workspaces and UI builder pages, as well similar for the filters and so on. So we are looking at embedding those information in the Analytics Center library pages themselves, as well as in the future for the indicators. So in the indicators pages, understanding of like which tables and indicator sources they are using, and so forth.
Okay, thanks, Marta. Okay, this is kind of talking a little bit about he says yes, so maybe this is off of somebody else's had given them an answer. The ability to sort by created by or date created, etc. More functionality to find that one visualization I know I built but don't remember what it was called. I know that there's some safe harbor, some future things there that are maybe are going to be around that in the data visualization library. Shushma, you have any thoughts on that? You want to share some future stuff, safe harbor, or Marta?
Yes, so on both the dashboards and visualization library, we definitely, with Zurich and Australia, want to give more ability on the sorting. I think in this case, on the question is also for when adding that visualization to the dashboard, there is a model that like will need kind of improvements on the sorting based on different columns for the users to find the latest. So I think it's all things that we are considering. Some on the dashboard level, some functionality on the dashboard library will be available already with Zurich, but for the rest, it might be more towards Australia.
Here's one. When migrating dashboards in production, do we have to migrate all the dashboards at once, or can we migrate groups of dashboards at a time using the try it option or activating the migrated dashboards a few times, a few at a time? We have about 3,000 dashboards. I know you do not have to do all of them at one time. You can do them selectively. Groups of them. Marta, can you do groups of dashboards?
Yes, you can. Is like from the PA underscore dashboards table, you will be able to select multiple dashboards that you can migrate. To consider till Yokohama, if you migrate only the dashboards, the content inside the dashboards is actually migrated only as part of the dashboard itself and not as part of the library. We are changing this behavior in Zurich, but till Yokohama, you can migrate only some dashboards, but the reports, PA widgets, and the filters that are part of the core UI dashboards will not be migrated as part of the library.
Okay, thank you. We have a requirement for fulfillers to be able to view some of our dashboards. Currently, it doesn't appear that any user with SNC External is able to view any dashboard on Platform Analytics. Is there a plan to get that fixed? Or is that a bug or?
It's actually, that should be supported a list from Xanadu, because I remember an internal team of ServiceNow having this use case as well. And I believe we supported it with Xanadu. But if it doesn't, if you are on that release and it's not supported, I will say to please raise a support case.
Okay, thanks. Let's see, I'm going to let Priscilla talk real quick. She's had her hand up for a bit. Hey, Priscilla, you there?
Sorry. Um, so I was trying to understand a little bit more about like the dashboards that were supposed to be deprecating, I thought, in the Yokohama release for like CMDB and some of those dashboards and shifting them over to the workspace. Is that still part of Yokohama, or has that shifted also then to the Australia release? I don't know if you could hear me.
Yeah, no, we can. Yeah, we
Okay,
can hear
it
you.
was really quiet,
Yeah, no,
so.
we can hear you. I think yeah. Marty, was you going to say something?
Processing, can you, so the CMDB dashboards?
Or was noted to being deprecated, right, as part of platform analytics, but it wasn't shifting to platform analytics. It was shifting to a workspace or a
Yes. Yeah.
workbench, right? So that's a totally different change, I think, than the traditional transition from dashboard to dashboard kind of concept. But it
Exactly.
seemed like that was part of Yokohama, where it seems is that still Yokohama, or do you know from the dashboard perspective, or did that also shift to Australia?
No, so it's like it also shifted to Australia in the sense that the existing out of the box CMDB that are part of the core UI dashboards will not be removed at all for the existing customers. It's only that there is going to be no update provided to the core UI CMDB dashboard version. And the CMDB team has decided to actually redirect, instead of rebuilding the dashboard using Platform Analytics, to actually redirect to the new workspaces, to the new CMDB workspace. So if you're already using the CMDB dashboards in Core UI, nothing will be removed for you. But in case you want to look about the new capabilities that they have delivered, they will be as part of the CMDB workspace.
So does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
There you go. Daniel, you have one?
Yeah. So Mark asks, what's the best operating and governance model for roles and responsibilities to get the most value out of platform analytics? Generally speaking, it really varies customer to customer, but our recommendation is to let everybody be free to create reports as they freely want to. and then use your, if you have one, an internal data analytics team to do governance around certified reports and dashboards. So don't try to create everything, but instead use the certification flag that exists on data visualizations and dashboards to separate what is verified by the company and the company team versus what's just user generated, and then spend the time on working on what is most important for your business to have as certified trusted dashboard, and then everybody else just freely reports on what they have the ability to report on in the platform. Maybe Marta has some more thoughts that she wants to add on that.
No, nothing more. I totally agree on our default is actually to allow all the users to create their dashboards and the visualization and the filters inside those dashboards. You can always decide to have a little bit of more of a restrictive group of people that can create visualization in the library into the new platform analytics journey, because we have allowed users to just create visualizations directly and filters directly on the dashboard themselves. And as well as Daniel was mentioning, for anything that is company or department level approved, or like then use the certified tag across, so then you are flagging to your users what is actually the metrics. The metrics that are in those dashboards on those visualization are the ones that are tracked on a more official level.
Okay, are we good with that one? Daniel, Marta?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you. So a couple real quick that hopefully we can get done relatively quick. Looks like some future stuff anyway. So do we have any ETA on rollout of year-over-year views for platform analytics?
I assume this one is for the type of visualization.
Yeah,
that,
a year-over-year option. Yep.
Not anything that we have in the short term, but it's not the first time that I hear this ask. So that's definitely something for the future for us to think about. So it's like year over year, month over month, quarter over quarter, and
Yeah.
different trending information.
Okay. All right. Next, any timing on text analytics indicator options for platform analytics, or is there anything planned for that?
Similarly, also on this one, we hear it from customers, but we don't have a huge usage across the customer base, so we haven't given yet the priority over other functionalities. But we will see if over time the entire text analytics will have a reshape on how has been done. And maybe I'm not sure if there's going to be that huge of a need in the future of it. So we are going to continue the research on the need of it and which kind of problem it was solving, and if they can actually be solved in a different format, in a different way.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then this person read that breakdown relations will no longer be used in platform analytics. Is that correct?
So currently on the KPI details, we don't have the breakdown relations. There is less of a need of the breakdown relation in case for RaptorDB Pro and the unlimited breakdown capabilities. But the team is also looking at the option to have the breakdown relations also in the KPI details. So it's something that we don't yet have. It's still being investigated if we can introduce it in the KPI details. But in case you have Raptor DB Pro, there wouldn't be necessarily a need for the indicators that you have like multi-level breakdowns enabled for.
Okay, great. Have you considered allowing comma-separated values for large numbers on PA widgets using time series visualizations, for example? So I'm guessing this is the display value.
Yeah, I think we need a bit more. So I'm gonna assume that it's about abbreviation of values, right? So if you have a million, that it shows 1M or something like that,
Right.
or like a smaller
That's what I was thinking,
label.
yeah.
So this is supported in platform analytics visualizations. Under metrics, you have format values, and there you can choose whether or not to show abbreviated values. In PA widgets, meaning in core UI dashboards, this is not possible. So, and we will most likely not support it.
Let's see. Daniel, you had one?
Yeah, I did. Anonymous asks if there's a strategy to determine if something should be saved to the library or not. The real answer is, do you think it's going to be reused more than once? If there's reuse for it, you should put it in the library. If there isn't, then keep it just in the dashboard. What's nice is you can easily switch between them. So inside the dashboard, you can always add something to the library. If you made it once and then somebody else needs the exact same day visualization, and then you can always unlink inside the dashboard from the library if the day visualization in the dashboard now needs to be customized again, for example. And the same can apply for deleting. You can delete from the library and it will automatically, you'll get the option to unlink it where in all the dashboards that are using it. So it goes back to being a single item. So it's really just a case of reuse versus single use. And from a load perspective, you probably want to keep as much in the dashboard if it's only ever being used once, than putting everything in the library. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, great. Thank you, Daniel. Are there any plans for the homepage? Currently, when you click on it, it takes you to the latest dashboard that you have looked at. I don't know if that's a question or a statement. I'm trying to understand that. Currently, when you click on it, it takes you to the latest dashboard that you have looked at. Are they asking? It's a
The
little.
plans were to make the homepage behavior support platform analytics dashboards. I believe that was something we did in Yokohama or Zurich.
We definitely did in Yokohama. Yes.
Yeah. After that, there is no plans for homepage and dashboards, I believe. There's no additional plans.
So I think like for this one, it's better to just open a case and kind of look into it in more depth, because I think this question is pretty complicated.
Yeah, I was gonna actually just have them shoot me an email directly and see if I can't find
Or
someone to
that,
look
yeah.
at. But a case is probably just as well. So yeah. On a classic report, we were able to position labels on a bar visualization chart indicating one label on center and another label on top when you have two data sources, so the labels don't overlap. That feature is not available on Platform Analytics. It's by default centered. Also, there's no way to change font colors on column charts. Anybody got anything on this? Future plans for these particular things? The labels?
Yeah, so labels, we do have some options for labels, right? Like they are by default centered, but you can also move them to be above the bar or below the bar, like near the top of the line. So that should help in a lot of cases. You don't have the possibility of picking between different data sources. But that should help with the overlapping at least. Like you have some options when it comes to moving it around. Regarding the changing of font colors, this is more of a theming problem, right? Because we kind of don't want to allow this to be changed so easily, because it is affecting the readability of the dashboard. We might consider it in the future, but for now we don't have plans to change this. Regarding label positioning, we will have a change coming up I cannot say exactly when, but we will have a change in how the labels are generally working. And that should help at least with the overlap.
One add-on here, it also depends a bit what chart you use. For vertical bars, that's possible. For time series, there is currently a restriction. Just as a addition here.
Okay, thanks. All right, Danny, you have a couple there flagged to answer live. You want to go ahead with those?
Yeah, the first one was one before I forget because I marked it as answered already. Is there any plans to enable drill downs to open directly in workspace lists when embedding in a workspace? My understanding is that we're waiting on features in platform list, in the new seismic list, the next experience list to come up to date to enable it out of the box. but I believe that this is something that each workspace can manually configure for the embedded dashboards. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marta, but I believe that's what we sailed on for now.
Yes, from the specific, like each specific workspace that is not platform analytics, then that redirection can be configured in the workspace itself. From platform analytics, our default will still be to go to the core UI list and forms. This is in agreement with the list and form team about the feature parity that they are achieving. What we are going to allow from Zurich is that via system property, you can also, for platform analytics, like identify and decide to actually redirect to the next experience UI list and forms. But that's in cases like for you, the experience works fine. You have a good set of like tables that have the correct default views and default form views applied. So you are going to be able to actually, from Zurich, also say that from platform analytics, you want to always redirect to the next experience UI list and forms. But that's not going to be our default. We are aligning with the list and form team on like when they want to make the next experience UI list and form the default experience for all the net new customers first, and then for the upgrading customers.
Cool.
Okay.
Then on to my next question. Should we wait for Zurich or another particular release essentially to migrate new features versus non-new features? If the advice is to, the sooner you migrate, the better. Run it in a subprod, see if everything's working for your focus groups as expected. There's quite a large shift in migration in Zurich and the way we approach the migration. So if it's not suitable to do a mass migration for you right now, then I would say wait for Zurich. But if you don't have that much content or you can do a mass migration, then do the mass migration sooner rather than later. Any of the major issues are all being frequently backported or released in store updates. So just make sure that all of your store versions are up to date and you're on the latest patch, and you should be fine. There should be nothing major or breaking for you. On to the next one. Can we share some links on how to create a new dashboard or how to customize out-of-the-box overview dashboards in specific workspaces? The reason I wanted to ask this live has been a couple of questions about specific workspace dashboards. We sadly do not own any of them. They are all owned by the individual teams. So our advice is to please reach out to those teams about what they've allowed for you to do in their workspaces. They might not be editable dashboards. They might still be migrating to Platform Analytics dashboards in their workspace. They might be moving, they might just be UI builder, like normal UI builder pages that have data visualizations on them that are not dashboards at all. So it really varies workspace to workspace, and you should work with the business unit or like the app team that made that workspace for you. And then the last one is a JavaScript support. Scripts include support inside filters. We do not support custom scripts inside filters. I don't think we ever did, Marta. We support dynamic filters, but not just calling a script include inside a filter. And then the custom reports that you can then do whatever you want with, we still support in Platform Analytics under technical dashboards. You can go in and you can manipulate the data, call script includes however you need to call them. They're just no longer running in Jelly code. They're running in UI Builder. And you can configure the data visualization component to show whatever you want in UI Builder. So that's where the support for custom scripting moved in Platform Analytics. But yeah, maybe we did support custom scripts and interactive filters, but I don't think we did.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I think John said he has his microphone working, and we'll let him try again. Go
Check
ahead, John.
1, 2. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
we got you. There he is.
Success.
Yeah, you made it.
Thank you. I made it. There's security that I had to turn on.
No
Okay.
worries.
So to explain what I'm asking, imagine, if you will, you're doing year-to-date counts of incidents on a time series visualization. And some of those numbers get really large, like 5, 6 digits. So that's what I'm talking about when I say comma separating those numbers. And we're displaying the number on the columns, if you will. Okay. Does that make sense?
Is
Yeah.
this in a list support? Oh, you go for it, Marco.
No, so it's in time series. Yes. So if you're in Platform Analytics, when you're configuring your visualization, under metrics, there is a link, like a small button, which says format values. There you have a bunch of options around, formatting. So things like enabling abbreviations so that like 50,000 becomes 50K. But you can also add comma separations and 1,000 separators. So 1,000 separators and grouping separators, you can include that there. So it's under metrics, format values in Platform Analytics. In classic reporting and performance analytics dashboards, you don't have this option. So this is only in Platform Analytics.
So that's probably an admin function then.
No. So this is available for everybody. So it's, again, if you just open the configuration panel, you have metrics. There is a small button. It might not be visible, but there is a small blue button which says format values. When you click on it, it opens up a model.
Is that by PA object or is that system wide?
No, this is just affecting that visualization on that dashboard.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try. Thank you.
John,
Yeah,
if you look
no
in the chat, I posted a screenshot there, which should help you locate it.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, John, you good?
I think I'm good.
Awesome. Thank you. All right. So, are there any other analysis features that might be available except for analytics generation, PowerPoint generation, and insights generation? Is there anything else out there that we want to highlight as this around this question, Marta?
I can talk a bit about that.
Sure, go for it.
Ahead. I'm replying to something.
My advice for additional like AI features in the analytics thingy is we've got something that we're going to show at Knowledge. So if you're coming to Knowledge, come find our booth. There'll be live demos. I don't want to spill the beans a little bit too much, but we've been working on something for quite a last, I'll say 6-8 months. That is AI powered from the ground up, like AI first, I guess, is a way to think of it instead of just additional kind of AI features. And that's going to be at K25. And that's kind of when the whole world is going to see it. So yeah, look out for it there.
Okay, great. Thank you, Daniel. And Dan, you might be able to take this one as well. We have scheduled reports currently. Will there be a way to move all these schedules to a schedule export in Platform Analytics standalone?
So scheduled reports migrate with the underlying report. So when the report migrates, we search for any referencing scheduled reports and we try to migrate those as well. I believe we've done some work to allow scheduled export in Platform Analytics to also export classic reports. I believe that was on the roadmap, but maybe Marta, if we didn't do it, let me know or interrupt me. But I believe now it will work for the groups as well, but essentially you want to migrate the underlying report and the scheduled reports come with it automatically.
Is there a recommendation for speeding up the grant access to dropdown when sharing a dashboard? With users, roles, and groups all in one dropdown, trying to search for the idle role just now took about 20 seconds to load just now, and I have to scroll to the bottom of the list to see the idle role since it appears to have done a contains search on username. Could the user search be changed to starts with instead of contains to improve performance? I'm assuming this is in Platform Analytics, right?
Yeah. So this, I think we definitely need a case for this just to figure out why is it slow, because unless you have millions and millions of users, this should not take 20 seconds. So yeah, I think we first need to understand why is it slow. It could be that some ACLs are running that are super slow. But in any case, this is definitely not what is expected. My advice is just open a case for this, and we can look into it.
Yeah, Claire, if you can open up a case, that would be the best route so we can figure that out. What she say? We do have upwards of 1 million user records, and that is the nature of our environment. But we still probably shouldn't take that long, right, Mark?
No, yeah, no.
I think
It should
a
not.
case is still good because we need a case so we can
Yeah.
get a defect so that we can then maybe create a system property so you can switch between them based
100%.
on load or something. So a case would still be good.
What's the best solution for creating an indicator source, indicator, and job for displaying the trend on records closed monthly? I know that you can basically create the indicator to collect monthly, or look at monthly data, and of course based on how you do your data collections job. But you literally have the ability inside of the indicator to show data as you want, monthly, daily, weekly. You have that option to do that. If you've tried that and that's not worked out, then maybe you can have a follow-up, or I can unmute you, whatever, Lena. Just let me know what you think there. I know that I was just going to provide you some ServiceNow documentation that actually shows you how you can set that up. I still will put that as part of the community. Let's see. Sorry if this is already answered. Question: do platform analytics support one filter functionality? I mean to say, if the interactive filters and breakdown work for both types of reports, standard reports and PA reports. Either earlier, the breakdowns did not work for standard reports. So it's a unified breakdown, unified filter now. So basically, it doesn't matter what the data source is. If you point directly to a table or if you point to a indicator, the same filter itself will work for both of those. So it's not really the context of a report or a widget. In platform analytics, it's a data visualization. So you just select your different sources that you would want to populate the data visualization, and the filter should work. Somebody cleared that one quick. Did you want to do something with that one, Daniel?
The last one with migrating.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those got
I was
cleared
going
out
to,
quick. Yeah.
So with dynamic filters, I was going to start typing, but then decide not to. But Marta, or maybe Marco, do you remember what we decided with dynamic filters in Zurich?
So with Zurich, any core UI dashboard that has dynamic filters or dynamic content block will actually not migrate, but will stay as a core UI dashboard. This is because of they are not really working properly inside the iframe. So we are maintaining them as a core UI dashboards. We are looking at option on how also kind of give more knowledge on how to create technical dashboards that will in the future will support your need of the custom filterings and custom content blocks. So that's definitely a question that has been asked multiple times of how to recreate those dynamic filters into the new platform analytics experience. We are looking into how it could be done in the technical dashboards, and maybe from components that are created in the technical dashboard UI builder, how can we bring them into the inline dashboards experience for them to be reused.
Thank you, Daniel and Marta. All right, so if some other ones come in, we'll grab those. But for the sake of time, I do want to kind of talk about some things that will be happening at Knowledge. As again, always make sure you use in our community, things of that nature. Now learning. We did recently add another how-to video, or actually what is, and it talks about data snapshots if you're not familiar with that. So please, scan the QR code, or the URL itself will be within the PDF that I'll post, and I'll make sure that the link is there as well. This is a really cool video, and it is a precursor to our next session, which is actually going to be talking about platform analytics data snapshots. But this is a really good one here. So let's see, one came in. Is there a best practice to set criteria-based attributes of tables, dashboards, underscore stats, and report stats to platform analytics migration? Intention is to avoid migrating unused or not frequently used information. So Marta, this might be touched on in that same link that you sent earlier, that community blog.
Yes, there should be on that community blog also housekeeping information and details. Yes, but in general, it's like if you don't have, like if you don't see Core UI dashboards or Core UI reports in those dashboard stats and report stats, I think that's a very good indication that maybe those have not been viewed. And those dashboard stats and report stats, at least on the high level table, keeps records for a very long time if you haven't deleted those tables or purged those tables yourselves. So in that case, you're going to be able to just filter out which are the tables that are used and which are the ones that have not had any views maybe for the last 2 years. And those ones could be categorized as dashboards and reports that should not be migrated.
Okay, thank you. And Daniel got that, and Laura's answering that. Okay. All right, so let me kind of go forward here. So again, make sure that you check this out. And like I said, in 2 weeks, our next session before knowledge, we're actually going to talk about data snapshots and platform analytics, which is a really cool feature. So make sure that you tune in for that. Again, knowledge. Hopefully all of you are going. Hopefully we'll see everyone there. We'll have a couple booths there. And of course, we'll have sessions that we'll be covering. So I just want to real quickly talk about a couple of sessions, the sessions that we'll have. So unlock your analytic superpowers with technical dashboards. So I know that there were a couple questions that were talking about technical dashboards. So here would be a really great session if you're going to knowledge to check out to really see some technical dashboards in use and things of that nature. Multi-level breakdowns and platform analytics. So this is a really good one because I know that people have always wanted to do more than 2 levels of breakdown. So this is going to actually show that in action. And of course, start your journey to move to the new platform analytics experience. We've had a lot of questions today about migration and what that looks like and how it's going to work. This is a really great session that is going to happen. And I believe that Dan and Marta are going to be taking care of that. And this was a sellout last year. I know that there's going to be some new and improved things that are a part of this. So if you're there, you want to make sure that you sign up for this one. Unleashing Gen AI for analytics from creation to exploration. Again, Gen AI is a hot topic as it relates to everything. So if you're interested in how you can use that with analytics, make sure that you definitely check this one out. And then lastly, data and analytics roadmap, the future of AI with workflow data fabric. We've had some questions about roadmap, and we are actually working on some documentation that we can put out, but this would be a really great session for you to see what that's going to look like in the future as it relates to all this great information. So I know that we have about 2 minutes left and the questions are empty. So as usual, thank you. I'll make sure that all of these questions and answers are put in the community, and I'll have the timestamp of where you can get to the questions that were answered live. Thank you to all the panelists that showed up to answer these great questions and give the incredible answers that they have. Truly appreciate it. So with that, we'll see everybody in 2 weeks to talk about data snapshots. Thank you.